Greetings to you, Crocoduck Army. I was at the American Atheist Convention recently, and the Richard Dawkins Foundation was interviewing anyone who was interested in talking to them on camera. I don't know if any portion of my interview is ever going to see the light of day, so I will address one question here. They asked me something that I think is important to atheists, and one that, if you're not careful with your choices, can actually do some real damage to your quality of life. The question was related to the importance of coming out and being public about being an atheist. Even the framing of the question makes it clear that it's a stance that is not to be taken lightly, and for good reason. Plenty of people see atheism as a personality flaw, or worse. Since humans are social animals, we rely on others for all kinds of relationships, like companionship, employment, and more. The way we're perceived is going to affect how people treat us, even if their perception is based on beliefs about us that are fundamentally false. Just like any group that is marginalized or vilified for a harmless belief or desire, it is definitely important that we come out of the shadows and make our voices heard if we feel like we're in a position where we can do so. Each one of us being visible and going about our lives removes the stigma for everyone, just a little bit. However, being open about our lack of belief does not mean constructing an atheist cross and throwing ourselves on it. Keep your private thoughts on it online via a pseudonym and bide your time until you feel comfortable with it, if you wish. Nobody ever asked us to suffer for our lack of belief in a deity, so let's not be martyrs. It isn't required, so don't put yourself in that position. Christopher Hitchens did not die for our no such thing as sins. I would suggest that the level to which you divulge your atheism be determined by what you think the reaction of your audience will be and the importance of that audience to your well-being. Is it a parent, a coworker, or an 85-year-old nun talking to you on a plane? Remember that you are essentially telling others that a belief system that may be central to how they live their lives is complete fiction in your opinion. That may cause a strong negative reaction. You are completely right to be thinking right now, well, that's their problem. If you're talking to a coworker who could cause trouble for you, though, or a parent who may decide to withhold assistance for college, you'll want to choose those words carefully, lest they turn their problem into your problem. If you live at home and want to get out of church functions, maybe tell them you're reading about other churches, or do some volunteer work. If you just say you're an atheist now and just shut yourself in your room all day, they'll probably blame atheism. Honing how you talk about the subject will go a long way toward helping others accept your atheism. You don't even have to call it atheism. I sometimes refer to myself as a non-believer instead. I prefer that to the term agnostic by itself, but I may also describe myself as an agnostic atheist, which is much more accurate. I sometimes illustrate my non-belief in God by comparing it to the thought that there might be a 10-pound wheel of Swiss cheese in the middle of Pluto. I have no special knowledge that there isn't one, but I'm not going to believe it until I see some evidence. Also, be prepared to talk about how, in your view, the top of the pyramid in terms of importance is all of humanity, instead of God, and that atheism is not just placing yourself over all of humanity where God used to be. Framing it in a positive way will often help them accept it, and you might even be able to smash some misconceptions people have about atheists, and therefore improve the path of the next atheist to come out. Let's try and make the path out of religion as smooth and well-worn as possible.